was 9 o'clock in the morning on September 26, 2006, in a city known as Cologne, Germany, when Leica was overwhelmed in excitement to introduce the brand new Leica V-Lux-1 mirrorless digital camera to the world. Let's go. Hello everyone, Carmine from New York here. This is photo class number 313. I'm a semi-retired professional photographer here in New York City, working as a photojournalist since 1973. This is my opportunity to teach photography from a professional's point of view, for having 50 years of experience, giving you guys all of my knowledge over these hundreds and hundreds of classes that I give for free. But I need something from you guys. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up button and please comment. What this does is it tells the computers at YouTube that this is an interesting video, this is an interesting channel, and let's move it up. Let's get some exposure. I appreciate every one of my 6,000 plus subscribers and my 1.3 million views as of today. I really appreciate you guys, and I know that you guys appreciate this channel. Let's go. What do we have today, guys? Well, as you can see by the red dot, this is the Leica V-Lux-1 digital mirrorless camera from 2006. It's 10 megapixels, but we have so much to talk about this camera. First, I want to show you right away a photograph that I took with it. Watch this. You see what I'm saying? I wanted to show you that picture right away to get your attention that we're not talking about some fly-by-night camera. Leica, the branding says it all. Now, a few things you have to know about this Leica V-Lux-1 camera. Remember, the last three classes right before this one, we talked about the Lumix branded cameras from Panasonic that have Leica lenses. Because over 20 years ago, Leica and Panasonic joined forces to create cameras and have Leica lenses on each of the Lumix cameras. But Leica came out with their own. It's Leica branded, not Lumix, and they wanted to have, of course, their lens on it. Now, keep that in mind. The Lumix, which model was it? The FZ50 is very similar to this Leica V-Lux-1, but they're not identical. The FZ50 might have 90% of what this Leica V-Lux-1 has, but here's the important 10%. When Leica produced this V-Lux-1 camera, the image processor inside was vastly different than the Lumix model FZ50. The Leica camera has the image processor to their specifications to meet Leica's brand and exceptional quality, like in this photograph. Now, I have a few things to go over. First, I must say thank you to DP Review for helping me write this class today. They were instrumental in giving me notes on the V-Lux-1. By the review that they did, the DP Review staff did in 2006, while at Photokina in Cologne, Germany when it was introduced. So it is mirrorless, of course. This lens, the Leica Elmarit lens that's attached to it, does not come off. So it's not considered a single lens reflex camera. It's considered a bridge camera to bridge the gap between a point and shoot pocket camera and a full single lens DSLR with interchangeable lenses. But the lens that's on here, you may not have to even think about getting another lens, because the zoom range on this Leica Elmarit lens is 35 millimeters to 420. So you're covered. You're everything from wide angle for indoor shots to 420 millimeters for birding. Okay, now a few things about the lens. Of course, it is a Leica lens. Like I just said, it has a zoom range of 35 to 420 with an f-stop range of 2.8 to 3.7. That's pretty incredible. Think about that number. 3.7 3.7 at 420 millimeters. That's a very fast ultra telephoto lens. Another thing about this lens is that as you zoom it, okay, this is it at 420 millimeters, and this is it at 35 millimeters. It does not extend. Normally in a bridge camera, as you extend your zoom all the way out, this lens would protrude all the way out. Not with the Leica. Now, another thing about this lens that really makes it worth the $200. These go for $200 on eBay all day long with a battery and a charger. Why is it worth $200? In this lens, besides being a Leica lens, besides being a zoom from 35 to 420, it has optical image stabilization, which means as you take a picture, if you move, especially if you're birding, right, you have it set all the way out at 420 and you're trying to get that bird far away, it keeps the image stabilized so you won't get blur in your photographs. Okay. Now, of course, on the back, I'll turn it on, it has a wonderful 2-inch display, which is articulating, right? So it articulates this way, down, okay, to the right, to the left, and you could keep it closed, and it has the branding on the back, Leica Camera Germany, which brings me to a very interesting point. The camera, yes, it's Leica, was made in Japan, and it's proudly stamped made in Japan on the bottom. All right, let's keep going. It has a wonderful electronic viewfinder on the back. You can see it right there. Okay, this is the electronic viewfinder. It's not optical, it is electronic, which means in here is a small screen that you look at. Okay, now it takes SD cards, and speaking of SD cards, we turn it off. The SD card is kept right on the side, right here. Okay, now that's important. It's better than having it in the battery chamber on the bottom. So if you should have this mounted on a tripod, you don't have to disconnect it and flip it over and put the new SD card in. You can go right in through the side. Okay. Now, it does take videos. I'm not a video guy, but this camera does take video. Now, it has a full mode dial on top, okay, for program mode, manual mode, aperture priority, and shutter priority. Now, the photographs that I took with this camera all had the same settings. Aperture priority, ISO 100, and yes, they were all edited with Luminar 4 photo editing software. Okay? Remember, any good photographer will edit every one of their photographs. You wouldn't go to the store and buy a raw piece of meat and just give it to your guests to eat. You would prepare it. You would process it, right? You would season it, you would cook it, and you would serve it. And that's the same as photo processing, as editing. You have to put some work into your work to make it an art, a photographic piece of art. Okay, now let's keep going. One thing I wanted to show you is it does have a portrait photographer's dream. It has a pop-up flash. Now, do not use your pop-up flash in this condition. It would give harsh photographs. I highly recommend you use the pop-up flash diffuser. I'm not sponsored. I'm just telling you about a great product. I buy this, and I have several of them because they're under $10. I get them on Amazon. Now, it's very simple. On top of the camera, and on most cameras with a pop-up flash, you'll have a hot shoe. This has a hot shoe flash connector. You simply slide it into your hot shoe. And there you have it. Now you have a pop-up flash diffuser. I'm going to show you now two photographs, one with the pop-up flash and the other one without it. You see in that side-by-side photograph, that's one of my Yorkies. You see how much better your photograph will look with a diffuser on the flash? Okay, now, ISO range. The ISO range on the Leica V-Lux-1 is 80. That's great. That's nice and smooth. No digital grain, okay? And it goes up to 3200. Now, the light meter in this camera is exceptional. Remember now, we're dealing with a $200 Leica. It's a Leica camera with a Leica lens for $200. And I want you to keep in mind the photographs that you'll be seeing through this video on the quality of the photographs you're going to get. The light meter that's built into this camera gives you the choice of spot metering. Usually you have to buy a separate spot meter for about $350. This Leica has it built in with a simple button switch on the menu. It also gives you the choice of center-weighted metering or multi-intelligent, where it takes the whole photograph and it decides what the best exposure would be. Okay, now focusing. On the side, it gives you three choices. Autofocus, or you switch it to autofocus macro, or you switch it completely off to manual focus. And talk about full range of manual, right? Manual focus. You have the mode dial, which gives you manual, which you pick, the ISO, f-stop, and aperture. All right. So, I'm going to show you now all the photographs. There's about 13 or so. Let's look at the photographs taken by me with the Leica V-Lux-1 with the Elmarit Leica lens with a zoom range of 35 to 420. Thanks, guys. Please subscribe.